3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the first episode of VSCO Academy. Today we're going to be talking about photographing people. The first thing to remember when photographing people is that anyone can be photographed, unless a person doesn't want to be photographed. In that case, probably don't photograph that person. The second thing to remember is that everyone's unique and interesting. You don't need to dress someone up or pose them or subscribe to some beauty standard to achieve a really good portrait. All you really need to do that is a camera and a person.
Try to think about it this way. It's not always about getting the most pristine image. A portrait is really about a moment with a person, and that moment can be something that's happy, sad, candid, weird, or anything else. Another good thing to keep in mind is that there's so many different types of people and so many different types of ways to photograph them. We know that can be a little bit intimidating, so try to just relax. If you're tense, then your subject will be tense, and that's something that nobody wants.
Finding someone that you feel comfortable experimenting with is great, so find a family member or a friend that you feel connected to and comfortable with and start from there.
While I was visiting my family over Thanksgiving, I tried to take some candid photos of them. Here's a photo of my cousin Emily. I like this one because I think it captures a lot about her personality. Here's a photo of my mom while she was driving. I like this one because I like the blue light that's coming in over her face. And here's an image of my uncle right before we ate Thanksgiving dinner. I like this one because his face isn't in it, but it's still a pretty nice portrait.
Since Katie and I are already comfortable with each other, we're going to be each other's muses. Okay, let's go take photos. This light's really nice right now. Can I just take a photo of you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Let's see. I'm gonna try and line Katie up to take a nice portrait here. This light's kind of cool. But honestly, what I'm finding is that my background's way too busy. There's buildings with crazy patterns. There's a bunch of like street art paintings, and that's fine and dandy on its own, but in my background for this portrait, I don't want it. There's lines kind of coming out of Katie. I think we should move to a blank surface. So what I'm noticing about this background is that, you know, it's a big bright background, but it's a lot more blank. There's not as much going on, and all of our focus draws back into Katie as the subject. Tilt your head back, close your eyes. Those dents are pretty cool, so I'm gonna try and include them. That was great.
Hey, why don't we stop here really quick and talk about framing? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so common ways to frame a portrait. First, probably most common one is a headshot. Really simple, just the person's head or their head and shoulders. This is good, very LinkedIn. Could definitely get a job with this.
Thank you.
Okay, so second most common is probably a mid shot. Okay, and finally an environmental portrait. Basically, the goal here is to either make your subject pop out of the background or blend in. Since this background kind of pops, why don't we have you try to blend into it if that's okay?
Sure.
Cool. Blend in as best you can and I'll take some photos. Okay, I think I have what I need.
Direct sunlight in a person's face creates harsh shadows. And while this can sometimes create a moody effect, it's also a little bit of a nuisance. The best way to avoid a situation like this is to find some shade and shoot in even lighting. Also remember that there are no hard and fast rules to doing this, and I found that some of the most odd and difficult lighting situations actually gave me the best images.
Friends are great to try new things with because they feel comfortable, you feel comfortable, and nobody's afraid to get a little bit weird.
I'm not afraid and I am comfortable because we are friends.
One thing that's really important to keep in mind when you're taking a portrait is move around your subject, make sure you keep your photos as dynamic as possible. Don't be afraid to experiment, flip them in different ways so you change the perspective.
Yeah, let's do it one more time. Can you stick your hand out with your phone, sort of like the bush is taking a selfie? Oh. And what I'm seeing right now is that the reflection in the water looks awesome. So instead of shooting Katie directly, I'm gonna actually shoot into the water. So I'm getting some ripples right now, and that's actually turning out quite nicely. Kind of like a mummy. Well, I think we had a pretty good day of photographing each other. Did you learn anything, Katie?
I learned that one of my favorite parts of taking photos of people is being able to photograph the ones you love. What about you, Max?
I learned that I do not like mannequins.
Well, at least we learned something. Thanks everyone so much for watching. We'd really love to see your images, so upload them to VSCO under the hashtag Academy, and also don't forget to follow Academy on VSCO to keep an eye out for more videos from us and the next episode.